A very good evening to you and welcome to our Primetime News. I'm Sandaru Ferdinando.
And I'm Rahna Farouk. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
President invites Lankan expat intellectuals to work for the country.
උගතුන් සහ බුද්ධිමතුන් සිය පරිශ්‍රණ සහ සිය ඥානයත් සමග සමාලෝචනය කළ යුතුයි කියා මා විශ්වාස කරනවා.
Navy commences the recovery of weapons from Avantgarde. 24 inmates detained under the Prevention of Terrorism Act released. Atmospheric disturbance in the vicinity of Sri Lanka to result in heavy rains, especially in the central hills.
President Maithripala Sirisena has invited intellectuals to impart their knowledge, wisdom and experience for the betterment of the country.
The President was speaking at the inauguration of a two-day workshop for university academics held on the theme New Tendencies of Higher Education in Vadua. More than 300 university lecturers participated in this workshop.
නව තාක්ෂණය හා දැනුම සමග බද්ධ කරන විට ඒ තාක්ෂණය සහ
To go forward as a country, citizens of that country must be equipped with relevant knowledge and technology. It is important for scholars and intellectuals of that country to be vigilant as to how people use the freedom when combined with knowledge and technology. I must express my regret over some websites for the way they handle social media using defamatory statements even on late Venerable Madhulave Sobhithera. There should be a broad dialogue within the country regarding the use of freedom and technology for better purposes and as it is often used for bad purposes. The time has come to utilize the knowledge and technical know-how of Sri Lankan intellectuals who work abroad to develop the knowledge of the people of the country and enhance the research activities in the country. I believe this will bring about coordination with respective matters.
ගැනීම සඳහා මා විශ්වාස කරනවා බොහෝ දේවල් ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් අවශ්‍ය සම්බන්ධීකරණය ඔබට කළ හැකි කියා.
The Arthur C. Clarke Institution for Modern Technologies assumes that the space debris dubbed WT1190F may have combusted when it entered the atmosphere. Now, the institution said that the cloudy weather made it difficult for them to observe or monitor any object that was beyond the range of 5 kilometers. However, NASA scientists aboard a Gulfstream jet that monitored the object confirmed the sighting of WT1190F.
Local and international enthusiasts and experts flocked to the Tangol Naval Camp and a number of other locations this morning to witness the space debris enter the Earth atmosphere. There was no observation here at the said time. We were waiting here to see the falling space object. We were waiting for it to fall. It didn't. We are still waiting. The Sri Lanka Planetarium had set up 2 telescopes at the site to observe the space debris that was expected to crash into the seas off the southern coast. The United Arab Emirates dispatched a special jet to observe and monitor the space debris dubbed WT1190F. The Arthur C. Clarke Institution for Modern Technologies announced that WT1190F was only observed by a group of scientists headed by astronomer Dr. Peter Jenniskens. Earlier this evening, the Astronomy Centre uploaded a video clip containing footage and images on its official YouTube channel, which they claim to be the confirmed sighting of WT1190F. Newsfirst obtained these footage when the Gulfstream jet carrying these scientists landed in Katunayaka to refuel.
We were informed that the space object had combusted in the atmosphere. A special plane was dispatched to observe this. We did not witness anything because of the clouds. Nothing was witnessed in Tangol or Mathura. I did not believe that it was witnessed from any area in Sri Lanka because of the presence of the clouds.
So we planned everything, but sadly the weather was not with us.
Unofficial reports suggest that the plane had observed the combustion of this object in the atmosphere. However, there are no official reports as yet.
Locals from many areas in the south, including Rathgama, Gaul and Habaraduwa, say that they heard a loud noise from the ocean.
Around 11:53 a.m. when I was cooking in the kitchen, the children did not go to school and the number of vehicles on the road too were low. We were indoors the whole day and we heard a loud noise. We heard a loud noise around 11:53 a.m.
Police headquarters reported that they did not receive any complaints over a sound. The usual hustle and bustle in Gaul was not experienced today. A state of fishing ban and a no-fly zone was imposed in the southern sea area and over the sky, which spans across a 45-kilometer area, 65 kilometers southeast to Dondra.
The Department of Meteorology says that under the influence of an atmospheric disturbance in the vicinity of Sri Lanka, prevailing showery conditions will continue. It adds that heavy showers of more than 100 millimeters can be expected at some places, particularly in the hill country.
The highest rainfall of 62.9 millimeters was recorded from the Colombo district during the 24-hour period that ended at 3 this afternoon. The Met Department notes that the atmospheric disturbance would attribute to showers to be experienced in the central hills. As the incessant rains experienced, several houses in the Katopedia rubber estate and the Gomes estate were inundated. According to our correspondent, around 200 houses have been inundated and water levels exceeding 3 feet were recorded from the area. Our correspondent added that residents have evacuated their houses and they are currently residing in their relatives' houses. Engineers at the Rajanganu Reservoir have decided to open 4 spill gates this evening. Apart from the 2 sluice gates that were opened by 2 feet each, steps were taken to open up 2 other sluice gates by a foot each. 3 persons sustained injuries when a tree fell on them along the Putlam-Colombo main road in close proximity to the Arachikattua town. According to our correspondent, several vehicles and shops were also damaged. The operation to clear the tree had taken almost 3 hours and vehicular movement was hampered while electricity supply to the area was disrupted. According to the Department of Meteorology, areas of the coast extending from Mana to Hambantota via Colombo and Gaul will be rough at times as the wind speed can be increased up to 60 to 70 kilometers per hour.
Sri Lanka Navy spokesperson Captain Akram Alavi announced today that it has commenced the transfer of Avantgarde weapons to the Sri Lanka Navy. The issue surrounding Avantgarde was raised at a number of media briefings today.
Persons involved in fraud and corruption in the country have shaken this country through the Avantgarde matter. There are media reports which say that it will be shut down. However, there is an issue as to whether that is possible. Our stance is that this had not taken place. More ministers are involved in this matter surrounding Avantgarde. You cannot carry out a proper investigation with persons connected to it remaining in the cabinet. The issue we have is this: when will legal action be taken against the persons who were involved in this illegal weapon ring? What action will be taken on the incident where the serial numbers of the weapons were changed? When the supply of the arms was carried out by the Sri Lanka Navy, was cabinet approval obtained to transfer it to Avantgarde in 2012? Who had done this? If Minister Vijaydasu Rajapaksa is acting beyond the statements made by the cabinet spokesperson, that will be a serious issue. What is the official stance of the government? There is one law for the common man and another for those with privileges. Persons who gave bribes to engage in the weapons ring must not be allowed to remain free in this country. The government was established amidst many hardships. However, a conspiracy is taking place where the aspirations of 6.2 million people are shattered to bits. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and President Maithripala Sirisena should be aware of this situation. One part of this conspiracy is that the change of the 2 judges who provided legal advice to the matter. Avantgarde is just one part. There is a bigger picture. 50% of the 4,000 persons serving at that company, that is 2,000 personnel, are those who deserted the military. The head of Avantgarde contacted me 3 days after the presidential election. He wanted me to permit him to spend for my election campaign at the general elections. I told him that he does not need to spend for my campaign. I told him that we are planning to build a party office and that anyone can contribute towards that. I told him that there are charges against him. If these charges are raised, I would be the first to step out against him. I told him to keep that in mind. If he attempted to capture a small party like mine, how would we have stepped forward to provide money to the MPs and ministers in the United National Party that established a powerful government?
Minister of Justice Vijaydas Rajapaksa, convening a media briefing recently, commented on Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca. Sarath Fonseca responded to the statements at a media briefing today.
We are the ones who put forward Sarath Fonseca as the common candidate in 2010. His election campaign commenced from my residence.
I saw that I was the common candidate after the nominations were presented. The entire task was carried out by the present Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and then leader of the JVP Somawansa Amarasinghe.
He was supported for his election campaign at my residence with the 5 million rupees provided by the businessman I introduced. The businessman who went through me gave him over 100 million rupees.
Shots were fired at his house. When we went there, he was inside with the door locked and in fear. I am not sure if he collected 5 million rupees. He gave me 500,000 rupees and must have told the businessman that the remainder was also given to me. What is evident is that he had extorted that money.
It was I who got a dozen national dresses and the sarong sewn for him.
I have never had so much of national dresses. He had sewn 5 national dresses, put them in a bag and followed me to the election stages. Finally, to evade this problem, I told my security to accept it. It was not near the quality of what I wore in prison. Later, one day I saw a driver wash the car using one of those dresses.
He accused me that I had taken a bribe from Avantgarde. With the earnings of salary of 3.3 million and 1.7 million rupees, I donated an operating theatre for the cancer hospital.
Operation theatre ekak parityaga kala.
Then we need to ask him, how does he live like a millionaire? How did he build a mansion? How did he utilize a massive fleet of vehicles for his election campaign? Can you detail on how you earn the money to spend on these matters?
Avantgarde parikshana aram.
When the investigations on Avantgarde commenced, some were of the view that former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa must be arrested. One of them was Sarath Fonseca.
You too would accept that I am not insane to get such a task done through such a person. I have never discussed with him about a list of military officers.
Danuna
Tilakaratna has made a request to return the 88.7 million. He wanted the money returned immediately. I said that as I too have doubts on this, I will make a decision after looking into that. That was an issue to Mr. Fonseca. This is with regard to the High Court deal.
High Court ගනුදෙනුව සම්බන්ධව චෝදනා වෙලා තිබුණා.
High Court නඩුවෙන් Danuna Tilakaratna අදට නිදොස් කරලා නිදහස් කළා.
Danuna Tilakaratna was acquitted from the High Court case. Danuna Tilakaratna sent a letter to Vijaydas Rajapaksa. There were 6 million rupees in the bank accounts of Danuna Tilakaratna. During the case, these bank accounts were frozen. When Danuna Tilakaratna was acquitted, he visited the court requesting the release of the accounts. Court instructed him to write a letter to the Minister of Justice and get this done. This was for 6 million rupees. That was the money in the accounts of Danuna Tilakaratna. That is why Danuna Tilakaratna wrote a letter.
මිලියන 6ක පමණ මුදලක්. ඒ Danuna Tilakaratnaගේ ගිණුම් වල තිබුණ මුදල. ඒකට තමයි Danuna Tilakaratna ලියුමක් ලියුවේ.
හමුදාවල තියෙන ලංකාවේ මුල්ම ෆීල්ඩ් මාෂල් තුමා.
He is the first field marshal in the Sri Lankan military. Based on the language he uses, I looked into the Sinhala meaning of field marshal.
හොයලා බලනකොට ශබ්දකෝෂය අනුව ෆීල්ඩ් කියන්නේ කුඹුර නැත්තම් වෙල. මාෂල් කියලා කියන්නේ මේ විධානි දෙන එක්කෙනා. අපේ ගම්වල ඉන්න වෙල් විධානි කියන එක තමයි සිංහලෙන් නම් තේරුම.
එතකොට
battlefield කියන්නේ යුද්ධ කරන්නේ වෙලේ.
So the battlefield is the paddy field. If you say cricket field, cricket is played in the paddy field. That will be the same for soccer field as well. Before Vijayadasa Rajapaksa put on his suit and tie, he must learn basic English. You cannot translate by simply looking at the dictionary. Then you can translate Vijayadasa Rajapaksa too.
එහෙමනම් විජේදාස රාජපක්ෂ කියන එක ඉංග්‍රීසියට පරිවර්තනය කරන්න පුළුවන් එයා කියන විදිහට. විජය කියන්නේ victory, දාස කියන්නේ servant. එහෙමනම් එයාට ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කියන්න වෙනවා. ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් නම ලියනකොට එයා ලියන්න ඕනේ victory servant කියලා.
MP Vidura Vikramanayake, speaking at an event in Horna, commented on abolishing the executive presidency. An event where musical instruments were presented to the Horana Handapanguda Primary School was held today under the auspices of MP Vidura Vikramanayake. It was at Most Venerable Madulu Ave Sobhita Thero's funeral ceremony that the President remembered that the late Thero battled to abolish the executive presidency. It was then that he realized that the electoral system needs to be changed. This is not what you call good governance. How happy would Most Venerable Sobhita Thero have been if the executive presidency was abolished while he was alive? I believe that they are trying to fool the people of this country. The direction of our country is heading towards remains unclear, dragging the country into a regrettable severe situation. The first people to face this regrettable plight will be our children.
24 of the 31 inmates who were detained under the Prevention of Terrorism Act and released on bail on Wednesday after they were produced before court had left the prisons after signing the relevant bail documents today. Commissioner General of Prisons Rohana Pushpakumara said that their relatives had signed the respective documents this evening and accepted those inmates.
On Wednesday, when the suspects were produced before the Colombo Magistrates Court, the magistrate ordered that the suspects be released on 2 surety bails of 1 million rupees each and several bail conditions. The suspects were ordered to report to the TID once in every 2 weeks and ordered for their overseas travel to be suspended. However, as the suspects failed to find guarantors, they were returned to remand custody.
A Hartal was held in the northern and the eastern provinces today, and the Hartal was held to urge the government to release the suspects who were detained under the Prevention of Terrorism Act.
State institutions, schools, universities, banks and shops in the north and the east were closed down for the Hartal. Public transportation was also disrupted today. According to our correspondent, normal life in the areas came to a standstill. A protest was held in Colombo today, organized by the movement to release political prisoners, demanding the release of the suspects who were held under the PTA and were granted bail on Wednesday. UPFA MP Dinesh Gunawardene expressed the following views in this regard at a meeting held in Koskama today.
If individuals who are arrested are released just because the TNA holds a protest, a situation where the judiciary will not be able to operate and a situation where the law of the country is not expected will arise. A state leader can grant a general pardon. This is not that if we start to behave in this manner based on a protest to release the suspects who have been poisoned based on allegations by court, the country will fall into a disarray.
Issuing a statement, the Ministry of Justice states that even though the suspects who were not connected to serious offences and detained under the PTA were released under strict bail conditions, it cannot be considered that they were acquitted. The Justice Ministry further states that the true situation behind the incident has been made clear to the general public by the government, as many have come forward to depict this situation as a serious offence. The Justice Minister further reiterates that at a time when the country is progressing while solving the allegations raised against it internationally, and at a time where there is reconciliation within the country, the steps taken to mislead the public should be done taking into consideration the future of the country. The Chief Minister of the Northern Province says that all possible steps will be taken to ensure the release of the political prisoners. The Chief Minister made this statement when he met with the Ambassador of Switzerland, Heinz Walker Nederkoon, at his official residence today.
Even if they were in the LTT, when they spend a long time in prison, they have been punished to some extent. Perpetrators are not hanged to death. The maximum penalty is imprisonment. Taking this into consideration, if these individuals have spent 10 years or so away from their families, I think it is just for the President to take action.
The case that was filed over an incident citing that a 990,000 rupee loss was incurred in the purchase of 600 steel pipes not required by the Sri Lanka Rupawahini Corporation from the 2nd to the 10th of December 2014 was taken up today.
The case was filed against former Minister K.L. Rambukwala, former Director General of SLRC Chandrapala Liyanage and Vimalasena Rupasinghe. Senior State Counsel Asad Nawawi, who is heading the plane presenting facts before Colombo Chief Magistrate Gihan Pilapitiya, said that the 4th and 5th witnesses in the case be summoned to court. When attorneys appearing on behalf of the third accused, Vimalasena Rupasinghe, requested he be permitted to travel overseas, the magistrate noted that he can travel overseas by placing a bond of 2.5 million rupees and that he should appear in court on the 19th February 2016 when the case will be taken up again.
World oil prices dropped to $42 per barrel of crude today. Now, over the past 4 months, the price of a barrel of crude oil in the world market was below the $50 mark.
The price of a barrel of crude oil was sold between $48 to $50 in the world market at the beginning of the year. However, in April, May and June, crude oil prices soared and a barrel was priced between $60 to $70. Since July, world crude oil prices were slipping to low. Data from the Central Bank of Sri Lanka notes that the price for which the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation also imported crude oil since June had slipped from $63 per barrel to $48 per barrel. Although world oil prices have slipped to record lows, after reducing prices on the 29th of January, the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation is yet to reduce the domestic prices. Since January, the CPC had time and time again noted that a price formula will be introduced to ensure that the Sri Lankan consumers benefit from the drop in world oil prices.
The JVP Il Mahavira Samara was held today at the Viharama Devi Amphitheatre in Colombo this afternoon.
The JVP Il Mahavira Samara is organized to commemorate the death of the founder of the party, Rohani Vijayveera, and others during the period between 1988 and 1999. The event got underway this evening under the auspices of party leader Anura Kumara Dissanayake. A large crowd, including party seniors, were present for this event.
The capitalistic system, which has failed to bring about betterment to society, failed to provide the people of their rights and failed to bring social justice, must be hanged. That is the most important point. What can this social system do for the people? There is no way for them to save anything. Look at the devastating situation the economy of the country has to face. We cannot take this nation even an inch further from where it is now. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party governed the country separately. The United National Party governed the country separately. Now both have come together to govern the country. On the 5th, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe presented the mid-term economic policy to Parliament. What does it say? That is not an economic policy that will take the economy nor the lives of the people to a better position.
And with that, we wrap up Primetime News. I'm Sandru Ferdinando.
And I'm Rahna Farooq. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant night.